Do you feel like what you do, you were destined to do? It was your mission, it was your plan? I've always kind of felt like that about myself. I was born in the 1940s. So when it came time to have a career, there weren't a lot of options in the 60s. You could be a stewardess, a school teacher, a secretary. There was one other, um, a nurse. That was about it for juicy careers, right? Unless you wanted to really work hard to break through the glass ceiling, which wasn't happening in the early 1960s. So I decided to become a stewardess and I got hired and I went to work for United Airlines. I didn't even apply with Pan American because I wasn't really that fluent in French. I had high school French, but I thought you needed to be more fluent. They were always advertising that you had to be bilingual. So I went to work for United. And my name is Rebecca Tripp. Well, after I retired from United, I met the founder of Pan American World Airways' son, Charlie Tripp. And guess what? He was living in my high school boyfriend's house in my hometown. He sailed in one day, bought the house, and there he lived. And I met him after Pan American went bankrupt. And he told me how devastating it was. I mean, it was a horrible thing because that was such an amazing airline. I mean, it was a class act through and through. It was a leader in aviation. It was sophisticated. It was classy. It went to the most exotic destinations. It was really something. But I did get to work with some of the Pan Am crew members at the tail end of my career because we bought their Pacific routes. And I used to fly with the flight attendants and pilots to Asia on their airplanes that had been repainted by my airline. And so I feel like my higher self actually protected me because if I had gone with Pan American or TWA, which was the first airline I interviewed with, and they rejected me, or Eastern, who hired me, I would have had to really go through a lot of misery to reestablish myself if I wanted to go with another airline. Who knows how it would have turned out? It worked out really well for me to go with the airline I went with because I had a long career. I wrote a book, Secrets of a Metaphysical Flight Attendant. This book covers my career from 1967 through 2002 when I retired 35 years later, with a lot of juicy stories about things that happened. I really wrote the book though, because if it hadn't been for my flying career and meeting the people that I met along the way, very synchronistically, I don't think I would have had a spiritually transformative experience. Maybe I would have, but I don't know. It just made it a lot easier to live where I lived, meet the people that I met, read the books that I read, have the conversations that I had, and learn what I learned because it just seemed to be my destiny to live in Chicago, New York City, San Francisco, Hawaii, Boston, and move around the way I did and meet these people that always were the next step for my spiritual evolution. And so that's why I invite you to get the book. If you go to my website, rebeccatripp.com, I'll send you a signed copy for less money than you'd buy it on Amazon. So check it out, rebeccatripp.com.